looks like you were caught red-handed. You pick and poke among. You try to climb the huge oak tree, but cannot find a good handhold. You slip back, and all you gain for your efforts are splinters. If only there were another way. This item can. You can't use. These two are.
Greetings. That's an.
Thank you.
What is it about?
It speaks.
Naturally. Fairly.
It's a water pitcher.
Pain. Please, don't touch that. It is my only means of returning through the desert. Not that I would choose to do so again. Even if open arms were to herald my arrival, I doubt I would know my way back.
You trekked through the desert with only a pitcher of water?
It is no mere pitcher. It is enchanted.
The bard seems awfully protective of his water pitcher. You're not sure you could drink it all, especially when all is immeasurable.
Home.
Your pitcher intrigues me. What does it do?
What do you think it does? Produces water.
From thin air.
Of course. Enough for a dozen men at a time.
Zounds! How does your pitcher...
You only have to say the word written inside at the bottom.
What word is that?
You could read it for yourself, were it your business to. Why does the end not come to me?
Have you always wanted to be a poet?
No. Before I left my hometown to cross the vast desert to this land, I wanted to be a dancer.
What happened?
I was excommunicated by a populace immune to talent.
I'm sorry to hear that.
No matter. Soon after, I heard the muse call. Bound to her beckoning, she has led me here.
You do better sticking your head in the sand. They are not the slightest bit interested in your possessions.
Days.
The squirrels clean and preen between dashes of acorn mania. You can't catch the cute critters.
Have you finished your composition?
Not yet. There's something missing, though I can't put my finger on it. What do you think?
Well, the words have lyrical quality, broadly speaking.
Lyrical? That's it. Music. These words would ring all the truer were they sung. Ah, but alas, I have no instrument. Pain.
The bard seems to be rather distracted by his inability to complete his composition. That would just result in you making a spoony impression on the bard. You are not a... The bard wouldn't be interested in that.
Home.
The bard... The bard... You see stray boulders from the mountain lying around. Work out some more. A few centuries ought to do it. You can't spend all day trying to pick up birds. They won't sing for you. You haven't got time for mountain rejects. You'd prefer oak. They're not that tasty. They're not. You inhale deeply the fresh smell of freedom. You can't use. This is a pleasant area, even if you'd never think to spoil this environment. The cliffs rise higher than the sun permits you to see. The cliffs. An ancient door has been set into the cliff face. You don't see that every day. An ancient. Your eyes adjust to the dark as you struggle to breathe the putrid air.
What is this place?
You'll create no magic around.
Looks like you were caught red-handed. The flowers are pretty, but otherwise uninteresting. The flowers. Boulders abound in this part of the forest. Despite your closeness to the mountain, you have a sense of peace among these trees. Despite your a waterfall cascades from the snowless mountain, evidence that Manannan occasionally has good moods. You could do with a shower. You couldn't stomach it, knowing where it comes from. Start on grass, then work your way up. Save your singing for an appreciative audience. Say you banter with the boulders. Boulders, they're suitable for sitting on, but you haven't got time. They would clash with your dirty, tattered look. This part of the forest feels tranquil, such a rare sensation. You couldn't stomach. Save your start. Start on grass. You can't. The flower. A waterfall cast. A rushing stream flows along the forest floor. Time to streamline your course of action. Will all the water in this stream not wash the toil from your hands? You can't use that. You can't. Try the stream instead. Try this. If you want a drink, try a direct approach. If you want a. You try this. If you want. Time to If you want, there's nothing. This is a pleasant area, marred only by a dark opening in the hillside. A huge spider web covers the entrance. Nice tree. That's the largest web you've ever seen. You shudder to think of what spun it. A stream gurgles past the cave as it winds its way to the sea. You'd need more water than that to clean yourself. Tastes good for a mouthful from Mount Manannan. If you want a drink, this is a pleasant area. The only way in is through. Bigsy Wigsy Spider climbed up the cave entrance. Along came a man and approached against all sense. Down came the spider and feasted all the same. Bigsy Wigsy Spider climbed up the cave again. Try to stay focused. Your life may depend on it. This is a pleasant. The area offers tranquility, but you've no time to indulge. The area It was to be expected that a spider of this size wouldn't just live off flies.
Day.
As you take in the beautiful countryside, you find it strange that it could be home to that tyrant. The soft grass soothes your aching feet. The grass is more exciting to watch alive. Talk is cheap, dirt cheap. The soft grass. As you take in the beautiful country, you see a cave and a hill to the north. The trees seem to follow the river on its way to the sea. As you take in the trees, unclimbable and unpocketable. Either you need a decent meal or some decent company. It bubbles back at you. A beautiful stream ripples through these stately trees. You splash some water on your face. Ah. If you want a drink, large rocks sit sunken in the sand. These trees have adapted to their saline habitat. It's big and blue. The stream ends its journey here. Using your hand, you make a baby's footprint. On the contrary, the tide can take you. You'll be seasick before you're even on the water. You'd break your skull. Try talking to things that talk back. A deep breath reminds you that you're used to thinner air. It's fresher further west. Try talking to Try a little further out. This water is too brackish. You scoop up a cupful of ocean water. The mere thought of drinking salty ocean water is already enough to turn your stomach. You can't use that item there. It's you, tattered clothes and all. Using your hand, you'd enjoy a climb if you had time. The beach is lined by grass, pinned by rocks, and hemmed by cliffs. Healthy vegetation grows close along the shoreline. A multitude of massive minerals. Cliffs section off this stretch of beach. Like a great blue barrier, the ocean obstructs you. The beach is lined by grass. The beach is... You forgot your bucket and spade. Ah, well, next time. You'd take to it better after a few swimming lessons. You could, but to get a better view of what exactly? You couldn't lift them. And why are you trying? Unmovable. Unmovable, as they are unmissable. You couldn't. Tastes like the desert, only wetter. You whistle while you wander. Rock on. The tree has grown up knowing its place. They're rather obstructing. You whistle. You can't use. You can't. Your aim is true, and the deadly blade speeds toward the web. It passes between the strands and clatters harmlessly within the cave. You can't use. You can't. You can't. You can't. Nice tree.
You'll create no magic around me, Quillian.
Looks like you were caught red-handed. Boxes have been stacked along the side wall. Boxes. The door is boarded up. There's a note pinned up beside it. Once the pride of the town, the library is now a forgotten shell. Once the pride... This house belongs to either a well-to-do family or to several poorer ones. This house... That's not the way in. You're not interested in that house anyway. Whom would you call outside? Or are you a shout-and-run fellow? Whom would you... This house... That's not... That's... You'd be noticed and unappreciated if you climbed them. If you're hungry, buy some supplies. The trees edge the northern end of town. In the wake of the Wizard's Mountain, the northern end of town houses the library. In the wake... It's peaceful here. Don't spoil it. Your call to the wild goes unnoticed. Proof that illiteracy can cripple communities. You can read, but that won't convince the door. The note says, due to a decline in literate members, this library is closed indefinitely. The window doesn't appear to be fully closed. The window... There wouldn't be anyone inside. You can't reach it from here. Being empty, they smell like wood. You wonder if anyone remembers what it's for. Once the there wouldn't be the window. Despite the fact that the window is ajar, it will not open wide enough to allow entry. There's a small brass latch on the inside, which your fingertips cannot quite reach. You can't use. You slide the long spoon handle through the gap and easily flip the latch. It is already open. It is already open. You can't use that item there. You can't. The window doesn't appear. There wouldn't. Rows of knowledge, local and wide, sit lost to an apathetic audience. The library is dark, and you squint through the still and musty air. It's a tattered spell book. Rows of knowledge, local and wide, sit. Evidently, Ludor's book lovers shared an interest in large artwork. Rows of knowledge. The library is dark. The stairs lead to a heavily boarded-up front door. Evidently, Ludor's book. This ladder would allow access to the highbrow titles, if you had any interest in them. The library is dark. This book has been left more recently, as in the last 20 years. You'll have to stop breathing if you start brushing dust off. You can smell the dust gathered on unlearnt lessons and abandoned adventures. The library is Necromania, a compendium for compulsive coffin collectors. Serrated Sensations, the secret to successful sword swallowing. Run on the Rubble, a race from wreck to ruin. Shark in the Shallows, dealing with demanding debtors. The Tale of Snowflake and Flame, an ancient tragedy of extinguished passion. Gesticulation, enhancing humor with your hands. The World That Was, topographical accounts of the rising. The book details how large most countries were before the oceans rose. Now there are thousands of islands cut off from their mainlands. How I Learnt to Love Fire and Forget the Rain. The author is a resident of Daventry. There's no way you could pronounce the name. Building Better Battering Rams, the complete guide for gatecrashers. 10-pint bowling. Apparently, sobriety is not required. Half sails and full pails, surviving your first season at sea. Chops and Blocks, an examination of expert executions. Necromania, a compendium. You can't chew through them all. You can smell the dust. It is closed to you. For all you know, the ladder was placed to prevent robbers from breaking their legs. Everyone's a critic. You'd never get that in your room. You've experienced most spells personally. Careful what you say around spell books. You can smell. Looks like you were caught red-handed. You slide the knife's thin blade through the gap and easily flip the latch. It is closed. This book has been left more. You can't use that item. The rest of the pages are blank. The rest. You feel strange. You feel strange knowing your predecessor left this, and that a later Gwydion might find it. Your call to its peace. Your hands, your.
I am ravenous. Fix me something immediately.
You are not. You are not. Leaving handprints around would undo. Leaving. You are not. Leaving hand. The despicable cat slips away from your grasp with a fierce scratch to your arm. Mananan is impatiently waiting for his food. Your lord and master keeps a cold. Your relationship.
I tried to be patient with you, Gwydion, but this is the final straw.
You found yourself pestering a wizard one day. He quickly grew tired and blew you away.
I am ravenous.